Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope. Our number, 964-2121, the Goomer & Company Buzz line. This is Louisville's original live TV sports talk show. I'm your host, Greg Brom. I am joined by the new morning show tandem on 1450 WQKC, Myers in the Morning, with Jeff Mason. Rashawn Myers and Jeff Mason join me today.
It's Mason in the morning, and it's temporary at best, depending on how things go. It's a very, very volatile situation. It's moving parts, but on a very temporary basis, we're gonna try Rashawn Myers out with me.
Rashawn, you might just have to break his mic for the portion that you actually want to speak.
You know what?
In the morning,
I tell you what, Greg,
get a word in.
I think everybody is going to love what we're going to bring to the morning show, because you know what, at any time listening, you may hear someone get strangled live on the air, so definitely I can't wait.
All right, it's your chance to come at Rashawn and Mason today. Rashawn representing the red tonight, and Mason true blue, as Kentucky beats Louisville 69-61 in the Final Four. They go on to the championship game tomorrow night versus Kansas. And Rashawn, start with you. You know what? This was the same game that was played on December 31st, in my opinion. Almost exactly the same rhythm, the same flow. Louisville gets the lead in ties it up in the second half, just like they did in the first game. And then, not enough shooting, not enough ability to score. They lose by almost the same exact score, 69-62 in December, 69-61 last night.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think the biggest thing that you saw in this game is that this Louisville team had a ton of heart. They definitely had some talent on the court. Peyton Siva, Gorgui Dieng, Shane Bohannon, three of the best players in the country, as well as in the Big East all year long. And I think they came out and they showed what they had. Unfortunately, the Cardinals did get a little behind early, just with Dieng missing some easy shots, Peyton Siva with a couple of turnovers to start the game. But the good thing was they came back in the second half. They had a very strong showing, tied the game up. All the Kentucky fans were basically holding their breath in unison.
Well, let's ask if somebody's exhaled yet, because Jeff Mason, okay, this game, you could have predicted the flow of it. Louisville will fall behind. Let's see, they'll make a comeback. Let's see when they time that comeback. Were you this time, the first game you said I was never even concerned that Kentucky could lose the game. You cannot tell me that when Peyton Siva hit that three, and maybe the most fired up I was the whole day is when CBS showed Rick Pitino on the sideline. He gave that fist pump, and I about came out of my seat. I really did. That pumped me up. You can't say you weren't worried and didn't feel like Louisville could pull this one out.
When Siva hits the shot, I'm getting some nachos. I'm as calm and relaxed as I can be. Greg, seriously, you watch this game.
You were a little bit worried at that time.
Hold on. You watch this game, and you see the game really develop much like it did in the first game. Louisville is playing that helter-skelter, mother-in-law defense. They're absolutely, making it difficult for Kentucky to get in their offense, get in a rhythm, and they did everything they can do to disrupt Kentucky. And that's to credit to Rick Pitino and to those players. They played with a lot of heart. But at the end of the day, as you watch that game, much like I've watched Kentucky play so many times, they find a way to counter to what you're doing. You want to run with Kentucky? We'll run with you. You want to slow it down and make it ugly? We'll go bang with you down low, and we'll fight the fight. It's a Kentucky team that has the ability to win in multiple ways. And honestly, I kid you not, he hits that jumper. It was a big shot. Pitino did the fist pump. We call timeout. We gather ourselves. We come back and we stretch the lead.
I give you credit.
I've seen that happen.
Out of the timeout, you guys were composed.
Yes.
My concern for you all would have been if that comeback had been timed a little later in the game, as it was versus Florida, and Louisville catches them at the 2-minute mark, which I think it just happened too early, and there was too much game left to sustain that for the Cards the rest of the game. We do have a caller already on the Goomer & Company Buzz line. Terry, you're up. Terry, we can't quite hear Terry. We get maybe our studio guy to get the volume up a little bit on the calls. But Terry, if you try, we'll try to get you on here shortly. Rashawn, offensively, I mean, that's where the Cards played great except for shooting and offense. And early in the game, Gorgui, he ended up playing a really good game, but I mean, when he touched it, they stole it from him every single time. Louisville, they only hit 4 threes in the game, missed 3 dunks. I mean, to shoot like they did, it was going to be tough to beat Kentucky unless you got somewhat of a streaky three-point barrage at some point or some type of offense. But it's just Kentucky's defense it is that good, isn't it? That you can't go in the lane and get a shot, and then they extend on the three-point line because Davis is in the middle.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you look at these two teams, there was a reason why these were the top two defensive teams in the country. And I think they showed it again on Saturday evening. I think it was one of those things where, yeah, definitely Louisville had some issues early on getting a handle to the ball, but I think a lot of that had to do with the University of Kentucky's defense. But one thing I do want to give credit to is the referees, because they did allow the two teams to play. There was not going to be that Mambo line to shoot, 1,000 free throws. So, I think it was very good. Unfortunately, a couple of breaks didn't go their way, and to beat a great team like Kentucky, when you have the top two picks in the draft, everything has to go right. Louisville just fell a little bit short, but you got to love the effort.
I tell you what, Davis he's the difference. I mean, he's the difference in the season, I think. For Kentucky, he was unbelievable. You shot 57%. I mean, for Louisville to even stay in the game with Kentucky shooting 57% probably is an accomplishment. But how did you feel about the way Kentucky played, Mace?
Well, I think one of the things that Pitino wanted to emulate was what Vandy did against Kentucky and against Davis down low, and try to shield with Gorgie as a defender.
I didn't see that work one time.
It did happen one time. Stephen came in and he hit a layup, and a clean layup that Davis couldn't get to him.
A little too late.
But I think if they had executed that kind of offensive strategy and really isolated Davis, not allowing him to get over. He's such a presence defensively. He shuts it down, and I thought he did a great job early in the game not to draw foul, get himself in foul trouble. There was a couple times early in the game where Jones goes up, makes the block as Davis just holds his hands up straight up in the air without getting himself in that early foul trouble.
Yeah, you're right. Foul trouble did get MKG. MKG was
and that was a horrible call. We talked about the refs. In my opinion, that was a moving slide on the one charge. He picked up that second foul. It happens. So we go without basically our energy, our motor on the team. He sits for a good 12 minutes.
That was beneficial to Louisville. There's no doubt about it. He got in at the end of the game and he makes the spin move and gets the dunk. And Currick, I was disappointed in his defense on that one, but it was a good move. But Currick kind of faded.
Yeah.
Kentucky is not a great matchup for Kyle. It just seems like they're too athletic at the 3 spot. He seemed to have a better game when he was playing the 4, and a big 4 would have to come out and guard him. He was able to maybe get shots off. But against Kentucky, not a good matchup for him. But we saw the emergence of Wayne Blackshear. And he was a big key in the game.
Yeah, I think and that's what you saw. It's the difference. I've been saying all year that Kyle Currick is a very good role player, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's been a great ambassador for the University of Louisville, turned himself into a 2-year starter, and I just think it was one of those things where he was a little bit overmatched. He came out there, he did what he could. He had a nice little rebound tip dunk, had a nice little George Gervin finger roll for an and one as well.
Yeah, he did.
So, he played to about as well as you can expect against that type of NBA-type athleticism, size. But Wayne Blackshear, he's an absolute monster. I think that the Louisville fans, I'm glad they got that opportunity to really see what he can do. This young man is going to be an absolute stud. Evan Daniels of Scout.com called him the best scoring prospect in the Big East this year coming in. Unfortunately, because of the double shoulder surgeries, people didn't see that, but this young man is going to be a true star next year.
The Rashawn Myers hype machine is starting to get into full effect. The reality of the situation, U of L, will return essentially a Final Four team, a veteran team. Kentucky will be replacing up to 6, maybe 7 players. So it's an entirely new team coming in from Kentucky. I think the bigger question is if Louisville doesn't, with an experienced Final Four team, doesn't beat a Kentucky team next year, when then will you consider Rick Pitino? I mean, at this point, he's 5-0. Cal's 5-0 against Rick.
Yeah.
At what point do you start to think maybe he's just never going to beat Cal at this point forward? Because listen, next year's your year. You guys are keep pointing to next year. You got all your guys back.
Well, next year, with it at home,
we're going to replace people. We got we'll have hopefully Noel. We'll have Shabazz Muhammad. Whoever we get, it's going to be reloading.
It will be reloading.
I would think there would be a concern. What will be the response from U of L Nation, Big Red Nation, when you see that kind of turnover and a veteran team come in and yet you still can't beat that new team?
Well, Louisville should be favored in that game and should win in the Yum Center. I would say that Louisville, with that team coming back, should be able to pull it off in the Yum Center next year. However, is Noel's another Davis? I mean, are these guys going to be Davis, Gill? I mean, that's a good group there. I'm asking you, Mace, and I'll ask you, Rashawn, Rick Pitino's tenure. Okay, now, analyze his tenure. 2 Final Fours, 2 Elite Eights in the last 8 years.
Well, the Elite
2
Eight,
Final
hold on,
Fours.
the Elite, when you build
One
that,
of them
hold
as the
on.
number one
When you-
seed,
when
so
you
he was
build-
really the
hold
best
on.
team and got
When you build
upset.
that resume and you start saying 2 Final Four teams, 2 Elite Eight teams, those Elite Eight teams are part of the Final Four team. So it doesn't build your resume up that much greater just to throw in the fact that you've got Elite Eight.
No, it's
The
4
Final
Elite
Fours-
Eights. It's
the
4
fi-
Elite
the fi-
Eights then if you're
Well,
going that
listen,
way. 2 Final Fours, 2 Elite Eight.
I would say that throughout the season, this has been a roller coaster ride of a season for a U of L fan, okay? If I'm a Louisville fan, I'm not happy with this season. I look at the season, we went 12-0 against...
You always
hold
have
on.
to put Louisville down
I'm
on
not
a
putting-
Final Four
you-
season.
You asked
That's
me...
why
you
people don't
asked-
like UK
You
fans.
asked me my opinion. Whether
I
you
know,
like
I
that
know.
opinion or not,
Okay.
that's another story. But the reality is you started out 12-0. You had a mediocre schedule at home. You didn't leave Yum Center
Mediocre.
before. But you had a Vandy team that wasn't at full strength. You beat an Ohio team. Those are your
That
big
went to the
victories.
Sweet 16, almost beat North Carolina. But go.
You know, I mean, look, there were
Okay.
a number of teams that shouldn't have been in the Sweet 16 that weren't that great. Some of them get there. But the reality is, you guys, U of L fans, U of L Nation, was calling for Rick's head midway through the season. You were the voice, and I say you, I'm talking about Big Red Nation, was the voice of the discontent.
Okay,
with the
we're
way
going to
the
take a
Cardinals
break,
were
Mace.
playing.
We'll let you. We'll respond
No,
when we
I'll keep
come back.
going through the break.
Afternoon
There's
Sport,
a
the
lot to
Sunday
talk
Sports Buzz
about.
presented by Sam Swell.
How about I just answer it?
Oh, yeah. Well, Mace, I'm just kidding.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Hi, I'm Joey Craig of Craig & Landers Cars. I'd like to invite you out to our newest location here in beautiful Crestwood. My father, Larry Craig, started our business over 37 years ago. We now have 7 great locations to serve Kentuckiana with over 500 automobiles in stock. We are a family-owned and operated business that believes in taking care of customers. Stop by and see for yourself. See you soon.
Now you're thinking smart with Craig and Landry Cars.
Hi, I'm Kevin Renfro, the attorney in charge of the Becker Law Office. When I was a kid, my dad lost a finger in an industrial accident. Couldn't work for a long time. It was tough on my family, and it taught me that the world can be cruel for those who are injured and have no one to stand up for them. If you've been injured, please call the Becker Law Office. We want to help you get the money you and your family deserve.
Serious, experienced, results. Call the Becker Law Office for a free evaluation. Just dial 3s.
It's for you, and you. Rally's just for you 2 for $2 deal. 2 for just $2. Rally's mouth-watering crispy fish with wild-caught Alaskan filet, just for you. Or our spicy chicken, seasoned to perfection. 2 of the same or 1 of each, just $2. It's 2 for $2 and it's just for you at Rally's. Feast on.
If my night's going into overtime, I head to Rally's. It's open till midnight or later.
Just kept talking throughout the commercial break.
Can I continue?
Well, no. I want to
Are you
ask you. He
sure?
says that Louisville fans should not be happy with this season. I want to ask Jeff Mason. Rashawn, I'll get you in here in a second, but I want to ask you. So Louisville fans shouldn't be happy with the season. Weren't you the guy who said that this is all about the tournament? They have to. What if they'd have gone undefeated in the season and lost the first round? Should Louisville fans, they'd have been unhappy then. It was all about the tournament. And if Louisville fans aren't happy now, Mace, how about, are you happy with last year's Kentucky team that had a subpar SEC season for their standards and losing almost every road game in the SEC and went to the Final Four? You unhappy with them?
The only thing I'm really concentrating on right now, and honestly, it's a national championship tomorrow night. I can talk about the past. I can talk about, was I happy last year? I was ecstatic about that team. The team was fun to watch. They gave a lot of heart. They were a young team that
Why
grew
were
and developed.
isn't that
throughout
the
year.
same as this team?
Because this Louisville team, all you heard, and this isn't just Mason in the morning sitting there putting this out. This is the Red Nation, the Cardinal Nation, was the voice behind the discontent of the way the Cardinals were playing. It
On the
was
way
a
they were
bad
playing,
season up until
it was-
Big East tournament. Big East tournament, you guys turned it around. I give you full
That's
credit
part of the
for that.
season, just
It
like
is
the
part
end of the
season.
first game against Kentucky. That end when Russ Smith scored 8 points and you don't give him credit for it. That's part of the
And
game.
you still lost by 8. That's great. You have a moral victory. You lost by 8. You kept it
Rashawn, let me
close.
ask you this before we go to Terry. We got him back on the line. I think Louisville, by their 2 performances against Kentucky, and they didn't even play well offensively at all, but Kentucky
they're
had a
not-
lot to do
but
with
they're
that.
not a good
They're not a
offensive
good
team.
offensive team. I think they're the second best team in the country. I think you'll find out when Kentucky beats Kansas by 10 to 15 points tomorrow that Louisville's the second best team because they're the only team that can push Kentucky like
Well,
that, I think. Rashawn,
I think it'd be great to
you
order
do
the
have a
set-
co-host in the morning show,
I
Mace.
think it'd be
He's right
great
here.
to order the set of steak knives and give you all the steak knives. Second best team. That's great.
You know what? I think that Louisville has proven, that they were an outstanding defensive team. Kentucky played out of their minds, but I think that Louisville
They shot
is...
57%. I agree with that.
I think ultimately, I think Louisville is going to show that they are the second best team in the country because I think that Kansas is no match. I don't think it's going to be a very good matchup. I was actually looking forward to the Ohio State matchup. Unfortunately, that did not happen, so I agree with you. I think that Louisville is going to be shown to be the toughest.
Mace wanted Ohio State, though. He wanted Ohio
I
State.
did want Ohio
because of
State. I
Sullinger.
thought Sullinger plays below the rim. I thought that he doesn't play with a lot of passion. He doesn't play with a lot of emotion.
He doesn't play with a lot of
he doesn't
passion.
to me, he kind of gives up on plays. I think our boy at Kansas, Thomas, is going to be a lot more explosive. He's a little bit beefier around the shoulders, quicker, more agile. I think he
Little bit
presents
of
a little bit more
NKG.
problems. I think Terrence
Well,
Jones got
Sullinger's
messed up
a little
against
bit of
Sullinger.
Jones.
Listen, I
A little bit
mean,
of Jones.
George took Sullinger, to school last year. So
All right, let's go to Terry again. Terry, you're up.
Yes, I like to say to the guy in the white shirt,
Yes.
I'm sure he's very nice, but you know that saying about a donkey's back end? Everybody has an opinion. I agree with Rick when he said that it's the older people that has still had support for the team after that bad loss at Providence. And for you, I don't know if you check out all the incoming that Kentucky has. They are 3 of them or 4 of them, if I'm not checked after today, 5 of them will be 5 stars. Kentucky is the only school that I have seen that is getting 5-star players again next year. Now, if you want to talk about Kentucky, then let's get on the fair level. There's not even North Carolina and Duke get that many. So,
Terry, I appreciate the call and thank you for your comments. It's not a negative though for Kentucky to get 5 5-star guys. That's a positive. That was an insult or a compliment.
I think it's a compliment. I think it's what you want. Listen, again, you either recruit
Terry
the
calls
best
every week.
throwers,
We
that's
love her.
fine. We love her call. And listen, she can call me a horse's patoot, whatever. Listen, I'm taking all this grief about arrogance of Kentucky winning, this arrogance, this attitude of
He's a good
superiority.
winner.
What's a good winner? Nobody likes the Dallas Cowboys when they win. Nobody likes the New York Yankees when they win. Nobody likes the Trinity Shamrocks when they win. Nobody likes the winner.
I just
So
want to
here's
point
the
out that
reality.
none of this was happening yesterday while the radio show was going on. If anybody listened to the Game Day Buzz on Saturday morning, all this talk wasn't there, but it just seems like so much confidence has returned to Wildcat
No,
Nation
boy, you
today.
pepped up a lot
I
overnight.
don't see how you can say that. If
He's
you
back to
haven't
his own
li-
self.
If you haven't listened to my morning show for the last 4 weeks, you have been saying the same thing. I'm giddy about Kentucky. It is what it is. They are a very talented basketball team. They've shown it all year long. Why is it? What part can I not be giddy about? What part can I not be cocky about? What part can we not be
But it's
arrogant
about rubbing it in the
I'm not
other
rubbing it.
guy's
We're playing the game
face.
tomorrow. We're playing that game against Kansas. I'm not going to sit there and give University of Louisville
Any credit for nothing. Anything, ever.
Hold on, a moral victory trophy. I think University of Louisville should set their sights
Final
higher.
Four banner.
Hold on,
That's
should
pretty
set their
good.
sights. But you guys were content to get there. You were surprised as
I
anybody.
wasn't content,
come on,
but we were
Brad.
up agained a very, very good team.
You guys were
Pushed them.
shocked as
I wish
anyone
we'd have
to get
shot
there.
better. I wish we could have played better offense. and hopefully the team next year will be able to score better.
When you got Wayne Blackshear coming back, and he should be 100% as well, as Terry Rozier, the young man out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio, coming in as well, and then you have Luke Hancock, the transfer from George Mason. You're going to have a little bit more scoring punch, and with the guys a year older, Zhang getting bigger and stronger, and Shane Bohannon with another year to get better, it's going to be very good.
Top five. Two top five teams. I don't care who you bring in your top five.
At one point you were top
Let's go to Jenny.
Hey, Mace, baby.
Yeah.
I've been a Kentucky Wildcat fan my entire life. Die hard since birth. Watched the game yesterday with 4 other die-hard Kentucky Wildcat fans. Up to the last 50 seconds of the game, I was sure U of L was going to win. So I want you to tell me how you have such an unshakable confidence watching the same game that I did yesterday, baby.
Yeah, I kid you not. I kid you not. There was 4 or 5. We were gathered around, all Kentucky, big crowd. I just sat there and had a confidence that this team knew how to do it. They knew how to win. I think Cal's been in that position before. I think the experience of having played in this game previously and just having faced Louisville, we knew what they were going to do. I mean, there was no surprises, which shocks me that Rick really didn't have any surprises for Kentucky. That was the same game we saw the last time, December 31st. And the reality, I've seen Kentucky go through that. I knew Louisville was going to make their run. It was a nice run. But I also knew they were limited offensively to really push the envelope any further. And when it came to really having to get over the hurdle, they'd gone as far as they could. Kentucky goes to a timeout. We come back. We execute, and talent takes over.
You did, and the thing is, you shot so well. I mean, if you hadn't shot as well this time, it'd have been a different story. Louisville.
But don't you think our shooting percentages were increased late in the game when Gilchrist gets 4 or 5 dunks?
No, you were shooting 60% the first half. I think you were shooting 60%. I think you were maintaining most of the game. All right, we'll go to break right now. Come back with more of the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope.
It's for you, and you. Rally's just for you 2 for $2 deal. 2 for just $2. Rally's mouth-watering crispy fish with wild-caught Alaskan filet, just for you. Or our spicy chicken, seasoned to perfection. 2 of the same or 1 of each, just $2. It's 2 for $2, and it's just for you at Rally's. Feast on.
If my night's going into overtime, I head to Rally's. It's open till midnight or later.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.
Hi, Joe here from Joe's OK Bayou. Sometimes a person's first visit here can be a little challenging on Cajun pronunciation. I want some estouffee with crawdads. What Bubba's trying to say is crawfish etouffee, one of our most popular Cajun dishes. And some Creole and some Piscante. Here, Bubba's going to try some Creole and chicken sauce piquante due to their healthy ingredients. I don't know what the heck I just ate, but it was good. Hey, here at Joe's, you don't have to be able to pronounce it to like it. Joe's OK by you. It's OK by me.
All right, welcome back to Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope. Make sure you like 1450 The Sports Buzz on Facebook. If you like us, we will send you $10 certificate to one of 20 restaurants. So we're giving you $10 just to like us on Facebook. I'm with Mason and Myers in the morning. Rashawn and Jeff
Mason. Mason morning, joined by Rashawn Myers.
Special guest,
Yeah.
Rashawn Myers.
Rashawn Myers Show.
Hey,
Exactly.
Myers Show.
All right. Well, we got somebody. I thought this guy would be waiting for you tonight and not calling in, actually coming in person to throw his question at you. But Handsome, I heard you with Mason Saturday morning on the radio. You did a great job trying to straighten this guy out. Why don't you give it another shot right now?
You know, Greg and Sean, he's impossible straight. Hey, I know he's a hell of a guy, ain't no question, but you just can't straight it. Hey, Greg, I want to use the prom name, the par y'all got in Trinity. I want him banned from the facilities. I got to get him broke one way or the other. You know, y'all going to be number 1 team in the country. You got number 11, number 12 would never be worn. Get 2 Louisville grades. I got to tell you who they are. And then you got you, your dad. Please get him banned where you can't see that.
I tell you what, though, Handsome, he's pure green, just as he is blue, and I got to respect that. With my brother here.
I like this.
But I got to tell you, I mean, you know, Sean and Greg and Mace, we missed 16 layups and dunks combined. That crushes. Russ missed that little gimme there. Then they come down and hit a shot, had a 5-point swing late. And, I mean, if you remember right, when Peyton hit the 3, Davis missed his only shot of the game. We couldn't get the rebound. Gilchrist put it back in. You know, and we just couldn't get the break. And we played hard. And, you know, what can you say? But I will say this. I love Coach Pitino to death. He got on there and said, Louisville fan, I would be Louisville pulling for Kentucky tomorrow night. I would pull them for 5 Saddam Husseins out there. Go down Kansas, beat their rear end.
And here's the problem. I don't know why Louisville fans can't be. I mean, we are all part of the state of Kentucky now. I mean, this is an effort to continue to bring the focus of college basketball here in our state and our city. And what better way to do that than to have Kentucky and root them on? I mean, I don't understand why Cardinal Nation can't get behind it. It doesn't matter.
Yes, you do, because you wouldn't be behind Louisville if they had won the game
absolutely,
either. All right, Mike, you're up.
Okay, yeah, my comment is this, and I want you to let me finish before anybody says anything.
Well, I can't promise you that, Mike. Just say your comment.
Okay, all right, my comment is this. You all were talking about if U of L had shot the ball better, that would have been a closer game. A couple comments that you didn't say anything about that makes a big difference, too. UK averaged shooting 73% from the free throw line, and they barely shoot 50% for the game. We get out-rebounded by a bunch and never get out-rebounded for the game. You tell me that those two things didn't make a difference. If we do either one of those two things like we normally do, and we win the game by 15
Well, there was another
points,
team on the other side. For both teams, there was another team they were playing against that maybe caused some. I mean, you shot 57% from the field. You don't usually do that. Are you worried tomorrow night, Mace, about free throw shooting? Terrence Jones has not hit a free throw ever in the Final Four. 0 for 3 after 0 and 5 last year.
I think to the
and
coach's
rebound.
point, he makes a good point. We talk about all the things. If Louisville had done this just a little bit better, if we had hit a couple shots just a little bit better, I mean, Kentucky's in that same scenario. If we had really executed a little bit better, if we had shot free throws better, if we had done some things on our end a little bit better, it would have been a double-digit loss. It would have been a little bit more of a blowout. Now, I'll give Louisville credit for creating some of that, but as far as our free throw shooting, we went 32 for 34.
Rashawn, you got the final word here. We got 15 seconds.
Good job, Louisville. Dick Vitale said you're going to be preseason #1 next year. Good luck to
Preseason
Kentucky.
#1?
Preseason #1. So we'll have to see what happens tomorrow, championship Monday, but it's going to be a big
We'll see if Kentucky's postseason #1 tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us. The Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope. We will see you next week. Thanks, Mason and Rashawn. See you later.